Oh, you guys, welcome to the Happiest Hour. Welcome to the Happiest Hour. I'm Brendon Lemon, the host of the show. I'm so excited to have you here. Cheers, by the way. It's another drink of my own creation. I've got some scotch in here. I've got some kombucha in here, actually. Do you know that drink that's made from fungus and yeast? That's this situation. I thought it would go all natural with this beard. This, of course, is my COVID beard. I hope you're holding up well. This is into the second day of the Happiest Hour. I'm really happy to have you here. I hope you're having an okay day yourself. It's, week 5 of this situation? People in New York apparently have to now go out in public only wearing masks, which is awesome. Nobody's going to know who's Asian and who's not anymore. It's a wonderful reality we live in. This episode, by the way, brought to you by Trader Joe's Scotch, everybody. The blended Scotch whiskey that you can buy for $10. So whatever you need to do to get you through this COVID-19 crisis, if you're like me or any of the men in my family, Scotch can't flow enough through your veins, actually. So I'm happy to have you here. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I see Jesse Rose and Kate Unitas have joined. Oh, my gosh. Good to see you. It's been a while, ladies, since I've seen you. Cheers. Click. Please have a drink in your hand. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know in the comments. And as always, here with me today is a buddy of mine who I'm very excited to bring on the show. And please welcome everybody with a big round of applause in your own apartments so that your neighbors can hear it. Lancey Joe, everybody. Lancey Joe on the show.
Hey, Brendon.
Click, click. How you doing, man? How are you? All right?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I am doing great.
I have a good question for you. Have you seen Cats since the last time we spoke?
I watched it several times last night.
I love it when you lie to me, buddy.
I thought it was awesome.
So this has now been over a month since Lancey and I have done any comedy on stage. And is it starting to show that it's...
Yeah. It's been months since we've done any comedy on stage or otherwise.
If I'm honest with myself, it's been years since I've done any real comedy.
Yeah. That's why a comedian that doesn't do comedy is a philosopher. That's what that is.
Yeah, or a spoken word poet.
Whatever doesn't earn money, that's what I'm into.
That's one of my favorite things to do if I'm hosting a mic and somebody gets up and bombs is to get up on stage and be like, please give it up for the spoken word poetry of, and then like the comedian who is just up.
Yes. And then you're like, what? I feel like people don't like me in the scene. Why?
Yeah. Then I'm surprised why I'm on Dale McPeak's Nobody Likes You in the city of Chicago. I don't understand it.
Which, by the way, I mean, I think that's a gimmick of a show. I haven't watched that show, but I hear it's funny. But I think people do like you, Brendon.
Well, that's very sweet of you, sir.
I at least like you, and I'm very self-centered, so... In my universe, you're well loved.
Well,
you're well
thanks,
loved.
buddy. Let me tell you, Dale. By the way, Dale McPeak got a shout out, and so if for all of you watching,
I saw this. I saw what you're talking about.
Yeah. Dale McPeak's a Chicago comic, local Chicago comic. He got a shout out in the special thanks in Louis' most recent special online. So that's pretty cool. I think that, it's cool to see Dale is moving onward and upwards. He's a funny guy.
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Was it actually? What you said that so stone cold. It was like you were thinking I was going to say Dale joined like the KKK or something.
I thought he got a shout out at the end of Cats. And special thanks to Dale McPeak. He's a really funny person.
Great solo memories on Cats.
Yes. He's a really funny person, so he deserves all the accolades.
He definitely does. By the way, I need to say a couple people watching. Shout out to Nico Payard, who's been a buddy for a long time. I hope everything is good in French Guiana. I think that's where you're living. And then
the world's most interesting man, Brendon Lemon. Rafe Cortez.
Rafe Cortez. Yeah, this beard I think I grew just to match my personality.
Shout outs to my friends in Iceland and French Guiana.
Nobody believes me when I say I'm popular overseas.
You're like Hasselhoff.
I'm like, what? Hasselhoff?
Hasselhoff. Overseas, you're killing it.
I got the Hasselhoff popularity and the Hasselhoff body.
I was in Paris one time and I bought some Brendon Lemon trading cards at one of those kiosks.
La carte de trading.
Des Brendon Lemon.
Chez Brendon Lemon. So what did you do today, man? What did you do to keep yourself sane and stay occupied? Are you staying fit, Lancey?
I do about 2.5 minutes of yoga a day, and I'm expecting this to bear the burden of the rest of the energy I'm normally spending.
Well, you know this, but I'm quarantining with a yoga instructor.
Yes.
So my life. We've been doing, by the way, Peloton workouts. The whole thing. You remember that ridiculous holiday commercial with the woman who is like, my husband got me a Peloton. Like,
I don't know what that is.
It's my first time. Like, you don't know what I'm talking about? Everybody watching this needs to go look this up. Quit watching this show and go to YouTube.
Right. And check out Pelican's workout.
Take a look at Pelican's workout. So Peloton.
Is it? Do you like eat raw meat and like ingest raw butter and then go out?
No, it's not a diet. It's like a workout. Like Peloton. All right, I'm about to dive down the rabbit hole. We're gonna lose all 5 people watching. So
no.
So Peloton is the technical term for the name of all of the people who ride together in a group in the Tour de France or in any bike race, le peloton. And they created a ride-at-home bike machine called Peloton that then you can do. So they give you workouts. There's like videos, and it's like you're riding your bike. You're doing like spin class, like at home. We've been doing Peloton workouts with no bike, where we just watch the video and they tell you to do things, and that's what we've been doing basically to try to stay fit. Yeah, that and I've been getting so frustrated because she's just so much more fit than I am. And I'm just not. I am not fit at all. This is not. I know that I look like I'm a very athletic man, but the truth is, the beard is very difficult to do anything athletic with.
Right. that automatically takes your. You can do manly stuff like chop down trees and drink
pillage.
whiskey.
I can pillage a lot.
Yeah.
I can raid.
And
I can raid monasteries with the best of them.
And your tolerance for alcohol goes way up.
Yeah, well, that just comes from a long line of alcoholics.
Yes, you're blessed in that way. You're blessed to come from a huge lineage of alcoholism.
It keeps my expectations low. And I feel like as long as you don't have a high bar to clear, you'll never feel bad not clearing it.
That's why your parents allowed you to do stand-up at 16 years old.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the second thing we should talk about in this pod is like we should go check out the Brendon Lemon doing stand-up at 16 clip.
Let's go over it and give it like a rating. Each joke, be like, you shouldn't have gone there with that one. But as far as I did watch that stand-up one time. It's been a couple of years ago when I saw it, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was really funny.
Well, somebody in the Chicago scene had posted it on a you get in again for the listener. So I've been doing stand-up comedy for 16 for the listener, for the watcher. This shows you how long I've been doing podcasting. For the listener, for the watcher, I've been doing stand-up comedy for more than half my life now, which is a terrifying thought. And I've been I did stand up in high school, but not only did I do stand up in high school, I got filmed for a documentary about comedians in Detroit when I was 16 years old, and that footage is on YouTube. So you can go check it out. Go look at Brendon Lemon. If you look up Brendon Lemon space Gilda Hauser, Hauser, it'll come up and you'll see it. It is hilarious. So that got leaked to the Chicago comedy scene back in 2016 probably, and
it was leaked by somebody named Rafe Cortez. We're not sure.
Oh my gosh, man! By the way, I got a little. You're drinking some iced tea over there. Is that right?
Correct.
I got a little bit lit yesterday at the end of that conversation with Jeremy Miller.
Yeah, after we got off the phone yesterday, you went like 30 seconds and you were like, oh man, I am on another planet right now.
Well, that's only because after the call ended, I took a whole bunch. I took like 3 hits of Molly. So
yeah.
It was a lucid time.
I was pretty high because I drank a lot of unsweet tea and then I popped a ginkgo biloba. All my neurons were firing at once.
You don't know this about me, Lancey. I don't know if any, I'm sure this is something that people who know me at all can like guess. They could guess at and they would get it right. Is that I take a lot of supplements. I take a ridiculous number of like supplements. Ginkgo biloba, St. John's wort.
Oh, St. John's wort's good, but you'll become photosensitive. Did you know that? You can't go out in the sun on St. John's wort.
What? You're making that up.
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Look it up on your laptop.
Take out your iPad and look this up. Get out your Palm Pilot.
That's why it completely ravaged the lifeguard community one year.
You feel like a guy who is a lifeguard.
No, I wasn't. No.
Are you serious? You were not, because I feel like you would have. I feel you seem so much like a guy who would be a lifeguard. Like
I can't swim.
You grew up by the Mississippi River. You can't swim?
They found me in the Mississippi River. That's when I was born. I was probably born up here somewhere like in Iowa or something. They put me in the Mississippi.
It just bequeathed you into the world.
Mm-hmm. And then they held me up. My parents held me up and they said, this guy will be the greatest open mic comedian to ever grace this earth.
And that was the first President's Day, I think.
It was. Macy's President's Day sale. That was the first one.
Oh man, do you think department stores will exist after this? It feels like if retail wasn't hurting before this,
yeah.
retail took it in the butt for real. Like,
yeah, it'll be like 3 months afterwards. We'll be like, oh yeah, the retail stores are all gone.
I don't know what women between the ages of 16 and 23 are going to do for a living, to be perfectly honest with you. That was the job, was working retail.
Oh yeah, that's true. What's a guy's job at that age?
That's a good question. I worked in restaurants.
Yeah, busboy,
waiter. I was a barista also. I was a barista.
Oh yes, there's the beard coming out.
I wish I could have
probably got some snotty opinions on espresso.
You're right. If you're watching the show and you want some unsolicited strong opinions on coffee bean regions, this is the face you come to.
I think you need to lean into your hipsterism. That would be awesome.
I wish I had a beanie in this room. I would put it on right now, and I could talk about Kenyan AA coffee, Kenyan AA.
You've got that joke about being a Midwest dad, but you can easily go into hipster like at the blink of an eye.
Oh, so quickly, man.
It depends you can morph into all things white.
God damn it, Lance. This is why I'm doing this show. It's because when comedy resumes, I'm gonna have to explore that premise on stage.
That's good.
You
That's
look
good
like
stuff.
I tell you, man. You look like the best offensive coordinator for a high school team that any high school in
Yeah.
Mississippi's ever had.
Yes. And I'm a good guy too.
I know it's true. It's true. You look like, especially when you have your tie all the way up, you look like the best Bible salesman wandering around the greater Mississippi area.
Y'all heard the good news?
He's risen.
Yeah, that's I was a Bible salesman, not very long though, only 11 years in the South. It's a short time to be a Bible salesman.
There's no frickin' way you sold Bibles in the South.
No. I imagine that, whoever the guy was that convinced every hotel chain to buy one is probably rich.
Oh, Gideon? Yeah, that guy. That guy's gotten mad. He has Carnival Cruise Line money.
Gideon? Is that really somebody's name?
Well,
That's not like King
it's
James.
somebody from the Bible.
Oh, okay. I was like, because they have a Gideon version of the Bible.
Yeah.
And, like a King James version.
Then there's a Gideon Yeah, that's the Gideon Bible. The Gideons are a group of people who wanted to get the Bible into every hotel room.
And then there's the LeBron James version of the Bible, lesser known.
LeBron Bible. Then there's the Jesus Bible. Comes
that's the
with
newer one.
a great pair of sneakers.
Yeah, and it's $2,700 for that Bible.
Oh, hold on. I got to say hi to Natsaron Payard. I've got to say hi to Natsaron Payard, my very good friends. I haven't gone and seen these guys, so I know this is a joke that everybody in the comedy scene, and especially you, is going to rub in my face, but it's like, I literally do have friends all over the world, and these two work for an international shipping company, and they live, I think, in South America and French Guiana. I could be right about that. And Nat and Nico are one of the most interesting couples I've ever met in my entire life. They are very kind. They let me stay with them in Marseille for 3 weeks while I had a terrible case of African dysentery. It was horrible. And I know this... I know this sounds... This sounds like I'm making up lines from a Wes Anderson film. But I'm telling you, it really happened. And they're very kind people. They have a lovely family. Nat is Thai and is from Thailand. Nico is French. He's from France. Neither of them spoke one another's native tongue, but they both spoke English. And they talked with each other in this lovely, almost twin language that was so endearing. Everybody who they met fell in love with them. And now they have a beautiful family. I got to go down and visit you guys if you're still watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. African dysentery. That's real.
Did you bring the coronavirus to the United States? You're the one who did it.
Well, it's a hoax. The corona
Mike
hoax.
Pence is looking for you.
Corona hoax is what you're talking. How many of your family members think this is a hoax, Lance?
I haven't talked to him, but I'm going to guess around 99%.
I've got family members.
Your uncle called you up, right, and said that was his first words out of his mouth.
That was exactly what he said. Yeah, he said this. Well, you talking about the corona hoax? I was like, wait, what? My dad didn't believe that the coronavirus was real until Trump said 100,000 people might die, and the priest at the Catholic Church in Manistee, Michigan, came down with it.
Really?
Yeah, that was like a big... My dad's not even Catholic.
Oh, I was...
I shouldn't say he's
Trump
not Catholic. He was raised Catholic.
When Trump said it, then he knew it was real.
Then he believed it was real. So I should say we oh my gosh, this is perfect. We've got some cool people watching the pod. The show. They're messaging me. But I gotta.
Did you hear though? Real quick, I wanted to make one more thing.
Yeah.
Did you see in the news that Trump pardoned the coronavirus? It's free to go.
Yeah. Well, because it was taking down so many immigrants like Arpaio.
100. If you go far enough back, we're all immigrants. That's the point. So really, we are 100% of the crime.
If you go back far enough, we're all immigrants to somewhere.
Yeah.
That's true. We were chimpanzees at one time, and then we immigrated to the world as humans. I don't know what that joke is doing. Do you believe? Let me ask you. Do you believe in evolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand. I don't understand the hyper religious people that don't believe in that, because I don't understand why people don't think that God could do that.
Mm-hmm. Why God couldn't do evolution?
Right.
Oh, just not creative enough.
The people aren't, or God's not.
I always thought it would be really funny if God came to Earth and was like, listen, science is wrong, but it is very creative. And I actually like it better than what I came up with.
Yeah, there are two things that I really like, is evolution, and that one Beatles song is real good. Those are the two most creative things I'm giving it.
Mike Robbins is in the comments saying I accidentally committed a hate crime. My apologies, Mike. I'll commit it on purpose next time.
Yeah. What on what grounds?
I don't know. We need to get Mike on this show though.
That would be hilarious.
All right, so here's the thing. I gotta patch in. I told her I would do it. She's messaging me. We gotta bring in our guest today on the Happiest Hour. Of course, the Happiest Hour brought to you today by Scotch whiskey, blended Scotch whiskey from Trader Joe's. Everybody, it's $10 and you can forget your problems. And
Nature's Bounty, Ginkgo biloba.
Happy Honda days. All right. We're going to bring her in. This is my good buddy. I love her so much. She's a complete delight. We're going to bring in Keren Margolis. I'm going to go ahead and message her here on the Skypes, and we will see if this works out. Oh, here we go. Oh, my God, you guys. Keren Margolis.
Can you see me?
Hey, there you are.
There we go. Hold on. For some reason, I absolutely could not get this to work on my computer. I can only do it on my phone, which is like crazy.
Yeah? You're live. We got you on the show, Keren.
Oh, really? I'm live. Hi. Okay, that's nice.
We got some listeners. Oh my gosh, Keren, you look amazing. Where are you? You in your studio? This is like the whole...
I'm in my bedroom. Yeah, I'll give you a little peek. So I've got a little pink cotton candy cloud backdrop right there, and I've got my little lens and camera set up over here. I'm trying to do my best.
I'm gonna have to bring Lance back in. This happened yesterday too. I'm not sure what's going on with this, the technology and why it does this, but it dropped Lance off the call, so I'm gonna have to bring him back on. But Keren, this is like you have like the home setup basically.
Yeah, I do. I invested in this whole thing.
You're up. There he is. He's about to come on. So Keren Margolis, welcome to the Happiest Hour. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
There we go. We got Lance back on.
Hi.
Keren, you're in Williamsburg in New York. You're in the center of the epidemic.
I am, and I'm in the center of the epidemic. Like right where I live is actually prime hotspot epidemic. Like my immediate neighborhood.
I love this. You are you're settled. So by the way, I should introduce you. This is Lance Richardson, Lancey Joe, who's in the other member of the Happiest Hour here. Although two of you guys have not met. Keren Margolis, very funny comedian, all over New York City, and also Compound Media star, I should say.
Thank you.
You were on the Cumia show.
Yeah, I was on the Cumia show, and I have my own show there that we'll get to when all of this blows over.
Yeah. Is it so? What's the situation? I should ask you. I was a guest on your pilot.
Right.
You very kindly invited me on. What's going on with that? What is happening with that? I should ask.
Yeah. So I asked, and I actually asked like right before I went on Cumia. And I was like, yeah, what should I expect? And he was like, look, we're not We're not doing anything with new shows right now. We're trying to keep our existing shows going however we can.
Yeah. During the pandemic?
Well, he was like, yeah, it's, like a global pandemic. But he goes, my like point person was like, you haven't been forgotten, and feel free. Sorry, guys, that's me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How embarrassing. But he was like, you haven't been forgotten, and feel free to promote it on the show. And I felt like that was a great sign. That's as much of a green light as I can get at this moment in time. So that felt really good.
I mean, that's fantastic. Honestly, that's really good.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, look, this is so weird. It's like the whole world is like trapped in amber right now. So, it's fine that we're not like grinding it out right this second with new shows, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right. Like everybody, I feel like everybody got into pandemic and entered a productivity contest.
Right. I mean, I'm literally in a productivity contest with a friend. And I've been losing so bad because I was like in like personal relationship turmoil for like weeks.
Yeah.
And it can't be productive. That's your energy. And now I'm back on the list as of like yesterday.
Well, so you should, just for the sake of all of our listenership, and also Lancey, who's listening, who also knows this person. Who are you in a personal productivity contest with?
So if you know this person, you're not going to die of shock. But my friend, one of my best friends, Bill Petit, who's currently he's friend, he and I have, and I think he and you, Lemon, also, I'm not sure though. He said you're a beast, but we have a productivity list, and it's a competition, and I have it up on my computer right now. There's rules. We actually started a new list because I was getting so demoralized by the old list. He was just beating me so badly because I was just in the middle of boyfriend drama, and I like dropped out. Yeah. And he was like, we'll start a new list so you don't feel so bad. So the rules are new list every day.
Yeah.
Most productive wins. Winner gets to feel smug and superior. That's it.
So they create a list. You would love this, Lance. They create a list every day. Go through the list and see who can get more things done, and that's basically who wins.
And here's the thing. Yes, it's sort of an honor system. Like, you get done what you get done, but you're allowed to put down, like, things that aren't your hopes and dreams. You know what I mean? Like, you can be like, did my laundry, washed my hair today. If you don't think that's a fucking ordeal during a pandemic, that goes on the list. Hair washed, like, pat on the back for me. And it's like dry sock. Like, you're allowed to just make it very granular and very unimportant, but also you should be like achieving your dreams.
I mean, I get it. It's I'd say washing your hair is a big check mark because this beard takes a whole lot of time.
Yeah, you get it. It was fucking huge for me. I went days avoiding it. And then I knew I had to do this, and I was like, let's just get this done.
Well, do y'all share a list?
Yes. We share it's a Google Drive doc.
So you're both going off the same list, so
yeah.
Bill doesn't have much hair right now, does he?
He doesn't. I'll tell you. So here's his list from the other day. So, okay, I'm going through some shit right now. So this was my list from yesterday, okay? Empty dishwasher, cry, go outside, buy serum. I still got to do my skincare. Shower, unpack freshlies, do laundry, vlog, video exercise, call Lemon, cry, drink a liter of water.
You had cry on there twice?
I did.
You had cry on there twice, but only call me once?
Yes, I achieved 2 cries. I called you once, sobbed. I cried so hard I couldn't breathe out of my nose. And then this was Bill's list. Strip bed, put sheets in laundry, collect trash, draft Cora, write Cora, find Cora, answer tomorrow, record podcast, take clothes out to dry, pick up trash, take trash out. Like, not every day is like a slam dunk, 100 push-ups, post Cora answer. Download TikTok footage, record audio, TikTok, edit talk, upload cock, download talk. You get it. So, like, that's basically what the list looks like.
Did I hear upload cock in there?
Upload talk, yeah.
So here's the first thing. We know that Bill's lying because nowhere in there did it say, stand in front of mirror and compliment self.
Right. It didn't say jerk off 50 times, so he's like 50 points shy of a completed list. To be fair, I don't put my masturbations on the list either, because it's like, that's my guy friend, and he just like, it's none of his fucking business what I do.
By the way, you literally, I know I said this one time already, but the background of this call with you, your studio in Williamsburg looks unbelievable. Like,
does it? It's just my bedroom. I just set up a little studio in my bedroom. This is between the bed and the closet, basically. I set up this little thing. It's cool, right?
Oh, just check out this little studio I said.
Yeah, no big deal.
But hold on, so you should tell the audience why. First of all, also I should say, I'm sorry to interrupt the call with these things, but we're getting comments, and I should say thank you, Dustin Music, for watching. I love you, man. You're great. But so why is your studio set up in such a way to have the lighting and all of that kind of stuff right now? You should tell the audience what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm making so. This doesn't make sense unless you know what this kind of thing is. That I'm into like pickup, dating advice, game, that kind of thing, and became like really interested in it for a while, and like kind of flexed on guy friends for like a year or so, helping each other out with relationship kind of stuff, and really liked it, and was introduced to like the world of pickup artists and professionals who make these like video series that you can buy. They call them dating products, or like game products or pickup products. And some of them are amazing. Some of them are actually amazing. And they like go through scientifically like how to pick up women and what to do and what not to do. And so I'm making my own. It's not quite how to just like open, close, pick up, like just take someone home to fuck. It's like a relationship product. There's some dating and stuff in there too, and like sex stuff or whatever, but it's like, yeah, it's like a dating product. Obviously for men, that's who like wants that from a woman, obviously, because it's me. And it's the difference is like, I'm not kind of there for like the granular details of how to pick up a chick and take her home. Not like, that's not really my expertise, because I don't pick women up. Yeah. My expertise is like the inner workings of a woman and understanding how relationships work. And so that's what I'm shooting and presenting. That's what I'm trying to do.
And that's what you're going to put out online. This is interesting because I feel like you have such an awareness of yourself that I feel like putting that out is going to be very interesting, I think, for men to hear what a woman's perspective is, like from your perspective,
Yeah, well, some of it, I mean, look, I'm coming from a place of empathy. Like, I'm not yelling at people. This isn't some kind of like feminist agenda. It's really not. Like, I'm as feminist as the next person, but that's not what this is. This is to let people know things that women never tell them. Like, how we really judge you, how we really judge your attractiveness and your suitability as a partner, and like why we'll sleep with you or not sleep with you, and like why we respond or don't respond to texts, and like, how you can like make an attractive dating profile, and like how fucking low that bar is. And
just don't stand in front of a mirror with a photo of your abs with the phone in the photo.
Like, please, oh my God, the bar is so low. But it's like, how do women rate a man's attractiveness for real? And what can you do? What are simple things that you can do to like elevate yourself only a couple notches and have a lot more options available to you? Like, genuinely, what do we want? Because I think it's probably, if you're a guy, I would guess it's quite confusing. I'm a girl, and it's like quite the trial and error thing to like figure out how to be a girl. Yeah. But we have a lot of information.
Well, I wish I had this in college. If I feel like that would have presented a lot of like. I should ask Lance, what's your dating experience? Lance is in a relationship with an amazing person right now. But
I'm right now changing as we speak. I'm changing my Tinder profile from the abs picture. What was the question? I'm sorry, Brendon.
Well, I was just curious I'm curious what your dating experience was in high school and college in Mississippi, Lance.
It was I feel like a what they call serial monogamist.
Mm-hmm. Were you really? You went from relationship to relationship?
Mm-hmm. So each one was like 2 years, 4 years, 2 years, 4 years. So Laura and I are working on my 5th year. So I'm past. I've crossed the Rubicon now with the relationships.
Wait, you and Laura have been dating for 5 years, Lance?
We passed the 4 year mark. Yeah.
Dude, well, hey, congrats. I feel like I'm slightly in that position, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Here she is. She's wondering what I'm talking about on that.
bring her on.
Laura, you want to be on here for a second? No.
She's dipped out. Well, Keren, I'm excited. When does that product launch? That sounds super cool.
I don't know. I have no idea. It's taken absolutely fucking forever.
Yeah.
It's just taken forever. Like, it's like writing a thesis. It's just taking a really long time. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm a comic and a broadcaster, and I'm really comfortable doing this. Like, I'm comfortable talking to people in this forum and in public and with a microphone and whatever and on the phone, but I'm not super comfortable doing this whole self-directed project absolutely alone. Mm-hmm. It's really hard for me, actually. I'm building up the skill of even knowing how to speak on camera alone to no one in order to make this thing really good. And plus,
well, what people don't, I should say this, what people who are watching who don't get on camera like this understand is that this is actually it's really weird to talk to a camera like you're talking to a human being. Like, it's so strange. Like, you're sitting in a room by yourself looking at something that has no emotions, and you're used to, but especially as a comedian, you're used to getting energy back.
Yes, and that's it. Not only does it have no emotions, it actually sucks
the energy out of you. Nailed it.
And you're also you're thinking about, because it's a camera, obviously. I know that we're filming this now, but I'm looking at you and I'm responding to you.
Us. Yeah.
And so, I didn't realize how much, I thought I was like a charismatic person, and I didn't realize how much of that was just me reflecting the other people's energy back at them. You know what I mean? You don't realize how much it's not coming from you until you try to do it alone in front of a camera. And then you're like, oh, there's this whole mental hoop-de-doop that you have to do in order to turn the camera into a person.
Mental hoop-de-doop. It's literally, it feels like if you've never done it, if you've never tried to like act or do anything in front of a camera, that especially in a room, if it's just you, it becomes weirder if there's a group of people who are like watching you do it. But, like, if you're doing it by yourself in front of a camera, it feels like if you've ever tried to talk to your parents and they have no reaction, like, about anything. Yeah. Like, if they're like, how was school today? And you're like, yeah, I did these things. And then there was literally, they just did nothing back.
Right.
That's exactly how it feels. Why were you outside after midnight? And you're like, I was just doing it, and it's terrifying.
Well, it's funny because I try to, now everything that I do, if I find myself, I have a problem being really my genuine, authentic self on camera. Like, it's actually kind of hard to, like, be true to yourself in front of a camera and not in front of a person. And so I'm training myself wherein, like, you and I talked on the phone last night, and I was emotional, and I was sitting in my room.
Effect on women.
Right, so I'm talking to you, you're bringing out all my feelings, and I'm sitting in a dark room with the lights off and just talking into my phone, like in this little like cocoon, and I'm talking to you, and I am so just, there's a level of thinking that, a level of extraneous thinking that you sort of attacked when you're self-conscious. And there wasn't any of that because I couldn't even see the hand in front of my face, and I was talking to you and you're my friend. And as I was talking to you and pouring my heart out and being all emotional, I was like, remember this, like, remember how this feels, this connectedness with like your genuine self, so that you can do this on camera. This is not that fucking easy. I'm trying to train myself to like capture that kind of like cognitive momentum and translate it into like when I'm doing this during the day on my own. It's really different.
Well, I honestly, I feel like you're going to capture it. I think that it's great. You're such an effervescent person. I feel like everybody should go check out the Nerdgasm pilot on Compound Media, because it was...
Yeah, so you have to subscribe on Forge. I don't know how to like get around that.
It's the pandemic. What are you going to do?
1,000,000%.
I feel like, what have you been doing? I mean, I know a little bit of what you've been doing because we've been talking about it, but what else have you been doing to pass the time during this entire, lockdown, Keren?
I mean,
aside from relationship troubles, which we will leave on the table.
I mean, that's been a lot of it. Not trouble. Yeah, okay, we'll call it trouble. But I've been really preoccupied with like some personal shit that sort of hit the fan.
Yeah.
That's been my kind of main preoccupation until like.
But there's a lot of people who are going through a lot of that right now. Like,
definitely.
I should say, like, what I was going to ask you, Lance, is like how you've been. I mean, I feel like you're in this relationship for like, 5 years. You're going on, half a decade, man. Like, how are you, the two of you, holding up during all of this? Because neither of you leave the apartment, really.
Right. Well, she does go to work. She goes to work 5 days.
What?
5 days a week. Yeah.
How?
But she's an essential employee. So, yeah. So during that time, but still, though, even when people do go to work and they get out of the house, things are different now because there's no other outlet for their energy.
Dude,
besides.
Nothing.
Yeah. And work for her is stressful too. So because of all this,
I mean, I found myself having a almost 20-minute conversation with the grocery store clerk at Trader Joe's.
Right.
By the way, this show brought to you by Trader Joe's blended Scotch whiskey. If you're trying to get drunk on a budget during this pandemic, $10 and you're in the Highlands.
Honestly, I have taken up drinking a little bit. Not like hugely. I'm not like a big drinker, but
you're more of a jeweler.
I'm more of a so. So I was jeweling like nonstop with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
As of 4 days ago or whatever.
Nonstop jeweling.
And we really hit the jewel hard. And we even got sick somewhere along the line. Both of us, him a little bit more so than me.
Mm.
And with like respiratory symptoms as well. Like it wasn't anything that crazy, but we were like, what is this? And at one point I just floated the idea that perhaps we should stop jeweling. He was like, I can't breathe. I was like, let's stop jeweling. What do you say? And he was like,
nah,
I hate that. He was like, absolutely not. I was like, well,
I chose this life.
He did. He was like, this life chose me. And I was like,
I didn't land on Jewel Rock landed on me.
That's right. And you know who, and I was like, okay, just a suggestion. He goes, well, I think it's shit and I'm not going to do it. And I was like, fair enough. And I quietly judged that decision and then also continued to jewel like unabated. We had 3 jewels going in a rotation and it was just fucking madness. And I miss it.
You got a double eyebrow raise on that 3 jewels in rotation.
I miss it like you wouldn't believe. I've never been addicted to anything. I smoked cigarettes like an idiot in college. Like, not, I do drugs here and there. I've never felt physically like I needed something as much as I physically feel like I need. Number 1, the jewel, and number 2, my now ex. Well, I miss those two.
You were jeweling I remember we came to, Lance, have you ever jeweled? I should ask you this.
I don't think so.
I haven't either.
Wait, what is that?
Are you serious? Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, what have I done?
Oh man. So I've never jeweled. But I feel like it just took, you were at the stand and I remember hosting the show at the stand Club, and you were still jeweling on stage. And people do that. People loved it. People loved watching you jewel, which was great. You should be on an ad.
Because it's so funny to jewel on stage. It's just so shameless. And I did it all the time. And you know what? When I was like in my periods of giving up jewel, for like a minute, I'd like throw. You know how much money I've spent on like new jewels? Because I would just throw it away to get it fuck away from me.
Terrifying.
And then just go out and buy another one. So I was like, well, this is trash. And I would periodically ask the audience for a jewel. Like, it's so funny. You can't, that's so pre-corona. Like, you can't do that now. You can't ask for someone that they, like, for a thing that you put your mouth on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would be like, anybody have a jewel? And I could actually track the decline of jewel by how many fewer people actually had a jewel, like, in the audience. It went from, like, reliably 1 or 2 to 0 in every show.
And it dropped so fast, too.
Yeah.
Like, it really quickly dropped.
I know.
And just to be clear for everybody watching, this is JUUL is the vaping product. It looks like a weird square rectangular cigarette, basically.
It's great. It's the fucking best. Here's what happens. You hit it once. If you already have like the nicotine receptors in your body activated because you've been juuling, you hit it in the morning, your vision goes blurry. Your body is so grateful for the nicotine. Yeah. You have this buzz and you feel it in your fingers and in your toes and you're like, fuck. And like your face skin vibrates and you're like, this is the shit. I can't believe this is allowed.
Yeah.
And then you hit it again and you get another little tingle and then you hit it again and you want to throw up.
Yeah. But after that, you can handle your first hour geometry class.
I guess, here's what I would tell myself I was doing. I would tell myself that I was, what is it called? It's not like a micronutrient, it's something else. It's like a compound that gives you like this little boost. Fuck, what's the name of it?
Cocaine.
I know I'm being really nice. It's like some little, not adaptogen. Anyway, the name will probably
adaptogen.
No, but that's not what I'm talking. It's like nicotine is one of them, and like I think caffeine is one of them. It's like some compound that in small doses helps you be mentally more fit. And so they're like, because there's a bunch of questions online that are like, can I just use nicotine for like increased mental acuity? And the answer is basically like not the way you're doing it. They're like, yeah, some people could, but like you're not doing it right. You can't just jewel and like be more fit. Like it actually would give me panic attacks because it's a stimulant and it's horrible.
But I love that my cousin Dustin just posted THC.
Dustin, welcome.
Yeah. I hope you're doing well, man.
THC would knock me on my ass. It's so funny. I thought I was being so cute, man. It's really fun to jewel. Just a little cloud of vapor.
I wish I smoked. I wish it was something that I enjoyed doing. I had one cigarette ever, and it was with Macaulay Culkin.
Really?
Yeah. I was in. I'll tell this story quickly. At some other point, Lance, I'll have to recount this entire story on the Happiest Hour. But I was in Paris, France, and met Macaulay Culkin, and I had no idea it was him. And for hours, I hung out with him. I bought drinks for him. I paid the bills for like drinks that came for us. And he, at one point, put his hand on my back, and he was like, let's go have a cigarette. And we walked outside of this bar, and I smoked a cigarette. And I remember thinking, he was just so charming that, like, I've never done that before. And it was funny because later when I was making out with him, I thought, this is the only time I've ever... I'm just kidding. I never made out with him. I did smoke his cigarette, though, which is gay enough. So, in France, smoking another man's cigarette counts as a domestic partnership.
Smoking is delightful. I can't, once you switch to juuling, smoking is unforgivably dirty feeling. Yeah. It's just heavy and dirty and it's smoky and it smells like shit and you're just like, I can never go back to this because I now have seen the light of Juul. But I do miss it because the nice thing about a cigarette is it's finite, right? The Juul is like
it can go forever.
It can go forever and you literally make yourself sick. It's cool for a second. I'm telling you, I do not have the discipline to be entrusted with a thing that requires restraint. I just don't. Like, I'm such an asshole. I'll just sit there and do it and make little cloud monsters and stuff and like and just make myself like I'll take a Xanax to deal with the effects of the Juul and then Juul because the Xanax hit and I feel so nice.
This is getting deeper.
It's a pathology. I just want people to know.
I'm looking forward to your tight 5 on Conan about juuling after this. How are you?
Thanks for letting me work it out.
Let me ask you this. How are you coping with not being on stage? Because for me, it's not well.
Fine. Really?
Yeah,
I'm fine. Here's the thing. I was getting annoyed with it. I was getting annoyed. You know, you go through like your cycles of like loving and then not loving stand-up. And I was on a downswing of just being like, all right, enough. I need a break. And then I got one.
And then
so
the pandemic
now
happened?
Right. So now I'm starting to miss it, honestly. Like, yeah, I miss going to a place. I miss interacting with a crowd. I miss, the thrill of being on stage and saying something and then provoking that reaction from someone involuntarily. Like,
right.
It's a high and I miss it. But at the same time, it's been really nice to not have the pressure. You know, comedians are such dicks about, do you have spots tonight? How many spots do you have tonight? And it's like, I needed a break from that. I wanted to make this thing. I wanted to just do a couple other things that weren't just stand-up, and comedy's so intolerant of that. And I just needed a sec. And I've got more than a sec. So yeah, I miss it. I'm coping fine. Missing stand-up's not what's fucking me up during this pandemic. I'll say that. You know,
yeah.
There's a host of other things.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot moving around. I feel like for me, not being in front of an audience has been really challenging. It's been strange. I feel like the woman I'm quarantining with has been at the receiving end of a lot of what otherwise audiences would have gotten. But I feel
verbal lashing.
Yeah, verbal lashing. I feel like Lance did it right. Lance is the one who he started doing this streaming early, inspired me to do it, and has really been channeling it in the right way. You've been doing it in the right way, I should say, because you've been also you're working on this product. You've got a lot moving around, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like after quarantine.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, I'm just going to continue drinking blended scotch from Trader Joe's, blended Scotch whiskey.
Let me tell you what I've been doing that is not that. I told you, I'm not taking up drinking is a strong word because I don't really drink, but I did drink a bottle of Prosecco alone when I was crying to you on the phone the other night.
Perfect. If you're going to drink a bottle of Prosecco, that's the time.
It was so white. It was one of my whitest moments ever. And the other thing I've been doing is abusing probably the softest drug known to man. It's not it's not a drug so much as a vitamin. Yes. Okay, I'll show you guys. It's this. It's Bill put me onto it. Can you see it? It's called L-theanine. I'm telling you, I think you're supposed to take one of these a day. I take a handful at a time. When I wake up, when I get out of the shower, before I do a podcast, before I go to sleep, whatever, I am abusing it.
I love that Bill put you on L-theanine.
Because, no, there's plenty. This is a form of abuse of my body. However...
well, it's why your arms are so taut.
Oh, yeah, you notice my taut arms, huh? But yeah, it's amazing. It feels like a gentle,
You said that like I was paying $1.99 a minute to hear it.
I mean, keep your options on the table, I say. Never has it paid off so much to have marginally toned arms. But Skypeable arms, you could say. But yeah, this has been really, really pleasant. Short of the hard drugs that I enjoy, but don't
has
abuse.
Been good. That's great.
Well, it's look, I'm not a drug abuser. I'm just not. I'm too vain and scared to truly abuse drugs, and so I needed a vitamin that I could shove into my body in huge quantities, and it's so nice.
Oh man. Well, Keren Margolis, where can people follow you? Where can people get after you? Where can people find out about your course and about your comedy?
Cool. So you can. So my main social platform is Instagram. That's my current fave. That could change, but right now that's kind of my jam. And it's Keren Margolis, Keren Margolis. It's Keren with an E. Same thing on Twitter. Keren Kardashian on TikTok, which I'll dabble in if the people want. And
if the arms are taut enough,
or if my arms are acceptable. And I also am on Quora, which I'm kind of low-key obsessed with, and I've been on Quora and answering some stuff and writing some stuff I feel is thought out and hopefully helpful. So if you want to check that out, get on there. It's Keren Margolis, of course.
I can't recommend Quora enough actually to the audience. It's so much fun, man. It's interesting. People answering questions, people talking about all kinds of different things. It's a fun way to connect with other people around mutual points of interest.
It is, and some people, there's a lot of trash and there's a lot of trolling and stuff on there, but I've read some, incredibly beautiful things on Quora. Some really helpful things that just, triggered me and stuck with me. Quora's where it's at.
It's good stuff. So, yeah. Keren Margolis, thank you so much for joining the Happiest Hour. We're going to have you back. You're a delight, as always.
This was so fun.
I can't wait to come out to your Orthodox Jewish neighborhood and hang out with you when this entire pandemic
Don't
is
tell
like,
them where
over.
to find me.
Yeah, right.
With these arms, are you kidding me? You keep my location a fucking secret.
All right, Keren, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. It was nice to meet you, Lance. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Bye,
Take care.
guys. Bye.
Whoa, Lancey Joe.
Yo.
Here we are, man. So I should read. We've had a few comments while we were talking with Keren that I need to read off. One of them is Janelle Murphy says hello. Janelle Murphy, really
coming all the way from Williamsburg. She heard the broadcast from Keren there.
Yeah, she must. Well, yeah. So, hold on. So Janelle is not in Williamsburg. Janelle is in. Janelle, where are you? You're in. I'm gonna remember this. Bushwick, I think.
Well, I'm a Manhattan man. I don't give a damn about all this Brooklyn bullshit.
That's true. Lancey Joe grew up in. He grew up right downtown, right on Lafayette and McDougal in Greenwich Village. those streets don't cross at all.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, we do know that it was south of Houston Street. So, Hugh. But down there, that's such a small area that the streets don't really exist.
When I first moved to New York, I used to call it Houston Street, Lancey.
Yeah.
So if
that's
everybody
a telltale
watching,
sign.
For my cousin Dustin, who is not from New York, he's from California, actually. Red Bluff, Northern California, Paradise, right where the fires happened, actually. He was commenting a minute ago. But the street is pronounced Houston in New York. So Soho means south of Houston. And I walked around being like, hey, is it north or south of Houston Street? And I think I probably injured people's eyes from having them roll at me so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like that. They probably shouldn't have spelled it exactly like the word Houston. But that's neither here nor there. But when I go to Houston, Texas, I call it Houston. Is this Houston,
Texas? This is named after Sam Houston of the Texas Rebellion?
The Houston Rockets, my favorite basketball team.
The Houston Rockets. Yeah, NASA's Center for Communications in Houston, Texas.
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh my gosh, man! Did you watch SNL over the weekend? By the way, speaking of Houston, we have a problem, which reminded me of Apollo 13, which reminded me of Jim Lovell, which reminded me of the great actor who played him in the movie Apollo 13.
Wow!
The guy who was in Punchline. What's his name?
This reminds me of Inception, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Is that who's in that?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
Who is the guy? God damn it! Who's the guy in Saving Private Ryan? The main guy.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. He's in Apollo 13. He was hosting SNL over the weekend because he recovered from coronavirus, which, as we all know, is why I have to do this instead of doing comedy. But anyway, the point is, did you watch SNL over the weekend?
No. Was it all from home though?
It was all from home, and our mutual friend Steve King, who's a writer on SNL, got a great couple of bits on the show, which was great.
But his name is Steve Castillo now.
Steve Castillo was always his name, technically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can tell what year I got to Chicago by what I call him.
Yeah, him or Gerard Stevens, equally
right.
I really want to have him and Ben Bannock on the show, but I have no idea what would happen.
Oh man, you better double up paying your Comcast bill if that happens. If they find out that kind of malarkey is going to be going on.
Malarkey is a great name for an improv team that we need to form.
We should form an improv team and just do stand-up sets.
Oh, that. Can I get a suggestion? Can I get a suggestion for a place that you might go on a first date? Like, Italian restaurant. Italian restaurant. I heard Italian restaurant. So it's so weird. I grew up in northern Michigan, and the thing about airplane food, he never said Italian restaurant anywhere in there.
Some of these improv groups, though, are getting like 15 minutes, so we could split that instead of doing a mic.
That's true. That's a lot of time.
And then we'll be still in the audience, and we'll suggest the thing that we need to lead into.
Can I get a suggestion?
Like Midwestern Dad.
Can I get a suggestion for how I look like a Midwestern dad? Just outsource the punchline to the audience.
That's called the begs the question fallacy.
That's called the begs the question improv. Like we would like. I remember reading that in Viola Spolin's book. Improv for the theater.
Well, I'm kind of thinking about vaping now. I kind of want to vape.
Dude, could Keren have sold that harder?
Man.
I hope they're writing her they need to listen. If you work for Juul and you're watching this show, which you're not, you should write Keren Margolis a check because she really, really pushed that hard in this show.
I mean, geez. Yeah. Well, so, but she was saying she had quit, right?
She finally gave it up. That's true. That's what she said.
But at the same time, she had only positive things to say.
Look, I'm never going to do heroin again, but I cannot tell you how much it improved my life. I lost weight. I got rid of my horrible friends and family, that monkey of a job I had. All right. Lancey Joe, we're reaching the end of the time here at the Happiest Hour. I just want to, for a second, wanted to thank everybody for watching. Anybody you want to do shout-outs to today?
My mom and dad, who there's people who own vape places are more likely to watch this than my mom and dad.
Our biggest sponsor should be a vape place.
Yes. That would be hilarious. I could totally get behind that.
I somehow don't believe thanks.
You. I mean, it would be funny.
It would be funny. That's an untapped market for. We should have put that when we were doing 20 by 9, which we will talk about tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
If you're watching in the audience, we will talk about 20 by 9 tomorrow. It is.
That seems like it happened 10 years ago.
It seems like it happened a decade ago. That's true.
It turns out 1 decade seems like 1 pandemic. That's how far away it was.
When did my birthday happen? That was a Spanish flu ago. It was a Spanish flu ago that we went to Disney World.
I'll give a shout out. Everybody who has a birthday this year. Happy birthday, y'all.
Lancey Joe, what a comedian. Thank you so much for watching the Happiest Hour. I appreciate all of you tuning in. This has been a great time. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, we need to have something to get us all through this. Please go out, get in line, stay 6 feet away from other people, and get a bottle of blended Scotch whiskey from Trader Joe's. It's $10 and a ticket to the Highlands and away from your problems. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, Lancey, for being here. I'm going to sign off. We will see you tomorrow at 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 in the Pacific. Thank you so much, and take care. Have a good evening. Bye.